How many of you have told someone you're autistic and then crickets? Why no one seems to care you're autistic. Stick with me, it's going to make sense. Welcome back. Welcome to this tea chat. And I'm going to be talking about why no one cares you're autistic. I know many of you have felt that way in one way or another, and that's how I'm feeling this week, and I'm going to explain why, what brought that circumstance up for me, and how just in retrospect and thinking over the last 4 years since my diagnosis, how do I feel other people feel about when I tell them that I'm on the spectrum or it didn't go as you planned. People rarely respond like you think they're going to. And a lot of times they just don't know how to respond. Hey, I wanted to tell you something. So I was diagnosed with autism. Oh my gosh, my cousin's kid has autism and he loves trains. Okay. He's nonverbal. I'm talking to you. Have you tried essential oils? I'm going to give you several blunt reasons why this happens so you will understand better. Instead of feeling like people don't care, you'll know the reasons behind it. You might be surprised. Number one being, they just don't get the weight behind it. They don't grasp the importance. I mean, for you, it explains years of confusion, pain. But for them, it's just something you've just told them. And it's just a label they've heard of before, possibly. Without lived experience for themselves, they just can't attach any grief to it or understanding. Number two is autism is normalized kind of in a shallow way right now. So awareness has gone up, right? But depth on it really hasn't. I mean, many people just know, oh, a lot of people seem to have that now. And the moment you share that, that might minimalize. Hey, I wanted to tell you something. So I was diagnosed with autism. Everybody's a little bit autistic. Yeah, I hate loud noises too. That minimizes the moment you're sharing. They're just probably thinking of a lot of things in their head concerning autism. Number three is social scripts fail. People know how to respond when you say something like, I'm pregnant or I have cancer. But when you say I'm autistic, it throws them for a loop. So sometimes they just default to something like, oh, okay. Or their face might show confusion, unless you're like me and you've told a bunch of people through text message and you really don't know how they react. So I actually just recently told my cousin in a text message, telling him a quick hello and that I'm not very good with communication. I'm sorry I haven't kept touch over the years. And then I briefly explained I was on the spectrum. And then crickets. Nothing for 2 days. Because it's hurtful when we tell somebody something and they don't respond. It feels like they don't care. And maybe that's not the case at all. So number 4 reason is individual disability gets discounted. They can't see it. They can't really see it from us. It's not visible. Like someone that has a physical disability, like they can't walk or maybe they're missing an arm or something. People can see that. People can't necessarily see your autism. There might be some clues. Maybe they know something's off or different about you. They know how you respond in social settings is different or awkward. They think to themselves, well, she's made it all these years. Okay, possibly she has a job or had a job. She has a family. Like, how could she be autistic? They have all these stereotypes maybe built up about possibly people who are autistic cannot get married or have a job, or who knows whatever else they think. Number 5, though, reality is disclosure without context falls flat. What I mean is, if you just tell somebody you're autistic or on the spectrum, or however you put it, if you don't tell them any struggles you've had, they can't understand. They can't really get it at all. If you give them some context, it helps. Humans react more and respond more to impact, not labels. Number 6 is people quietly reframe you. There might be a subtle cognitive shift how they feel about you. They might recategorize you rather than empathize with you. Or opposite might happen. They might start having a lot of empathy and feel sorry for you. That's the one that I fear. I fear when people know that they will shift how they feel about me and see me in a negative way. And we don't know what other people think. And there's no way we can know, so there's no need to try. The main thing is just being content with yourself. You are living in your own body, and you might as well be as happy as you can, because we know life goes on, and that with these new resources we have of understanding, that we can do something with that and better our lives. And we can adjust and make coping mechanisms to function the best that we can with what we have. That's what we can do. But number 7 reason is you're hoping for retroactive understanding, which you may or may not get. Thinking to yourself, now they'll finally see me correctly. And when people don't, it hurts more than expected. I'll tell you another quick story about when I told my sister-in-law through a text message. No, it was an email, because this was like 2 years ago, and it was very hard for me to tell anybody. So I sent her a message, an email message, and by this point she had known me for at least 15 years. So she responded totally unexpectedly. She was like, "Oh, okay." She said, "I actually have a coworker who told me that he's on the spectrum," and explained to me what that was like for him. And she was very nice about it. But there again, I don't know what the coworker said autism was like to them. So she's just, because I haven't explained what it's like for me, probably lumping it in with what he said it is for him. So I just haven't had a conversation to explain anything further. I've just let that one lie, just lie flat, because for me to tell her was a big deal. It's taken me many years to tell people in different ways over the years, and I haven't shared with 100% of people at the 4-year mark. That is because there's some people in my family who don't believe in such things. So I don't waste my breath trying to explain it. But then it's awkward, because you're like, well, 95% of people know, but this 5% doesn't know. It's just makes it difficult. Okay, update. So my cousin has wrote me back, and his question was, what's the spectrum? So maybe how we word it makes a difference. And then I thanked him for acknowledging, and we had a couple nice exchanges. And then he wrote, "It's incredible that you got your degree." Then, of course, my mind's going, does he just think that maybe autistic people are not smart enough to get a degree? Or that it's just incredible that I got a degree? See, I don't know. And that's how my mind works. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it as it was a positive interaction, and how we word it means everything. And I told him the reasons why it made sense to get that diagnosis. So the truth is that most people won't treat your autism disclosure as a major life event unless you translate it into personal impact. So compare it like this. If you tell somebody, "I was diagnosed autistic," you get an abstract label. But if you say something like, I was diagnosed autistic, and that explains why I have so many sensory sensitivities and issues with social anxiety. If you go into depth a little bit, it gives lived reality for you. Or if you say something like, I was diagnosed autistic, it's a relief because now I understand why friendships were so hard. That gives like an emotional meaning. That's going to get different responses than you just telling someone you're autistic. So I want to know, if you are diagnosed with autism, how did you tell people in your life and how did they respond? Was it encouraging or was it discouraging? Was it hurtful? Did it help? Do you feel like you have to educate people about your diagnosis or not? If you still got some coffee or tea left, stick around for another video. I'll put it right here. Thank you so much for joining.